heard and how they're making it easier for you to use, like when you go different places and you just lose internet and all that, they have that protection going now for you.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi.
Yeah, I wasn't sure anybody was going to be on. I thought a lot of people, well, not a lot, 3 people had texted me and told me that Jeff Bill was doing a call at 8 o'clock, and I was assuming they misunderstood that it was Central, not Eastern. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I think I'm on. I think I'm on YouTube now. Okay, I am. There I go. All right, so how's everybody doing?
Lovely. How are you?
Good.
Good.
I'll be looking at my regular camera here in a second, trying to make sure that I have this thing up on YouTube. Okay, so me and Jezreen were just sitting here talking, just kind of waiting to see whether anybody else was going to get on. So here you guys are. So let me move my screen over here. Somebody tell me how they got their last prospect.
Prospect or suspect?
Prospect.
And they actually enrolled?
Or
Or they're in
well, no, they
in
you can still be prospecting them right now, but how did you lure the last prospect in?
Actually, it was business cards that I had from way back when. So during I guess it was like last year, I just started reconnecting with people because I still have my Texas number. And so I was just reconnecting with people just to kind of touch base to see how things are going, how their business is going, and just made a good reconnection. And ironically, she had actually enrolled in Legal Shield, but through the corporate website. But then she wound up canceling and said, at a later time she would, want to enroll with me.
Okay.
So it's not just, she's a client now, but more importantly, it's just that reconnection and that really accountability, because she's actually even become an accountability partner. So that was just like reaching back out to people that I haven't spoken with in years.
Makes sense. So old business card you handed out. Okay. All right. Who's next? So make me start calling names.
Glad I got mine that way.
It's easy. It's only a few of y'all here. So does nobody else speaking up mean that nobody else had a prospect lately?
Let me ask you, let me run this by you, Coach Dunbar. I have a client, he was reaching out to me. He was on the road driving, so I told him when he reached at the home, he should call me. And he does, he said home, he does out of state transportation because he was coming from Ohio and he lived in New Jersey. and I was sharing with him, the legal plans. So he wants the family plan, and I was telling him about the CDLP plan, and he worked from home, and he said he doesn't have employees. He hired a few folks to help him. So I was thinking he would get the family plan, and he could have the home-based business supplement added. And he was saying he doesn't think he need a CDLP license. He has another license, he said, that covers him. And
he has another license that covers him what? On what? Like, where did he come from? Where did the prospect come from?
I am on Alignable, and so I posted something about the identity theft and the legal plan. So those who commented on it, I do a follow-up, and I ask questions. So he was telling me, and I see on his profile, he does transportation, home appliances, medical courier, mail messenger, passenger, ride and share.
Okay, so you prospected him originally on Alignable.
Yes.
Okay, and you've been having conversations with him back and forth.
Right. So he was on the road coming. He was ready to I wanted to talk with him to see, what coverage we should really give to him. So I told him when he told me he should call me. So I was thinking about, for what he does, the coverage that I should really talk to him about getting so that he gets the right protection.
Okay, but when you said, but I still don't understand what he does, like, for a living.
He does transportation. He transport all these things that I mentioned. He transport all of these home appliances. You want to move, he would move you. And he carry medical, he's a medical courier too. He is a mail messenger. He carries passenger, ride and share.
Okay, so, and he's saying he's got what kind of license?
What is not the CDLP? I think he said, I forget what kind of license he said he has, that he don't think he need the CDLP.
But a CDLP plan don't have nothing to do with CDL license.
But I
shouldn't say it don't have anything to do with it.
Because
that's not what you should say, but you know what I mean? First of all, how is he hauling appliances?
He's a commercial.
He can't. But Jasmine, he can't be a commercial driver and not have a commercial driver license.
That's what I was thinking, because he was driving from, he lives in New Jersey, and he telling me that he was leaving Ohio, and he probably won't reach home until late, he said.
Right, but that don't really mean anything, because he's driving state to state don't mean anything. It's whether he's commercial driving or not. If he's hauling appliances state to state, then he's an over-the-road truck driver. So him saying that he doesn't have a CDL license, either he's misunderstanding what you're saying to him, or you're misunderstanding what he's saying to you.
He said he had the CDL license, but he doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah, so I still need to know more about that, because that doesn't make any sense. He can't be hauling things if he don't have a CDL license. Like there's no way he could be doing that without CDL.
That's what I was thinking
Yeah.
too.
So it's like it's no way to protect him with anything if you can't get the story straight with him about what he has. You see what I mean? And even if he don't have a CDL license, let's say he really didn't have one, which I don't think that's the case, but let's just say he doesn't have a CDL license. If he doesn't have a CDL license, he's still driving commercially. He's still moving things commercially, so he still needs the plan even if he don't have a license.
Right.
I would say him that plan. Now, why you saying he need a small business plan? I don't know anything about why he need a small business plan because I don't know anything about his business.
He works from his office. He's worked from home. He has his office at home.
But what are you selling him the business plan for? To do what with?
Wouldn't he need because he's running his business from home?
Yeah, but you can't sell a plan like that. You can. The thing is, when you selling a plan, you got to sell it to him for a reason. You can't just tell him he need a plan because he own a business.
No,
because that's not enough for him. Like that, you're not selling him on the components. Like, why does he need why does he need a small business plan? Him having a business is not enough. Like, you see what I mean? Like, you can't, I mean, it is enough, technically speaking. What I'm saying is you're not going to get me to buy that from you because you're telling me I need one because I have a business. So my question is, him having a home business, based on what he does for a living, is going to be based on how you're going to market that plan to him. Because just saying you own a business, you need a business plan. Everybody that own a business don't think they need an attorney. They do, but they don't think they need one. So you just telling them that they need one because they own the business. He thinking you just saying that to him because you're trying to sell him something. So you're gonna have to wrap around that conversation with him when you talk to him. You gotta give him some information. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just, it's just like saying, hey, you own a gun. Oh, you need a gun. You need the gun protection plan. Well, yeah, they do, but you can't call me and say, like, if a person called me and was like, do you own a gun? Yeah. Well, you need a gun protection plan. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, for what? Like, why do I need a gun protection plan? I ain't had one up until now and I've been just fine. Now, I could be totally wrong saying that as the person who has the gun, but if he don't tell me why I need it, you're not gonna sell me no gun owner rider because I own a gun when I don't feel like I need one. So he needs to understand why he needs that plan. And there's obviously a disconnect there with you and him with what he thinks you're selling. Because the fact that he's even saying that he doesn't have a commercial driver's, he's not a commercially driving, none of that is even correct. So there's something wrong with that scenario. Like, I would have to know, I would have to hear more from that guy or from whatever for it to all make sense to me, because that doesn't make any sense with what the guy is saying. It's just not adding up. Allison, you raising your hand on purpose?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I was just thinking to help get clarification. She can use that. Which one is it? At a glance, where it has each plan on the back, and ask him questions concerning, do you need this? Each one of those aspects, just to try to get clarification if he does need a plan. If she's trying to sell him the business plan. That's all. The only thing came to my mind is there was no clarity in that conversation they had.
And all of those different materials that you're using to prospect that person, everybody's gonna have their personal preference on what they use. I don't know what Jezreen uses normally. I know with me, and if it works for you, Allison, to use that, I don't use that because it's too much information for me. Like, people think you're selling them a whole bunch of stuff when you show them states at a glance. I normally use it for insurance agents because I'm letting them know what they can sell. But that's just me. Obviously, Legal Shield has it out there for people to use, so people must be using it and it must be working because they keep updating it. So if people are obviously using it, I normally just don't, because I'm a landing page guy. So like, even with Legal Shield, when it comes to talking to somebody about identity theft, I never send anybody to my website for that same reason. It's too much on the website. And if I'm talking to you about identity theft and I send you something to my website, now you all upside down. Some people, not everybody, some people can comprehend all that stuff, but most people can. Most people are like, you know, they see that and it's like they're looking at recruiting, they're looking at this, they're looking at that.
Yeah, I think, yeah, there's too much things on the website.
Yeah. It's just too much stuff. And I get why it's there. They offer all that stuff. They got to have it there. So it's not that Legal Shield's doing something wrong. It's just when I'm talking to a prospect about identity theft, I don't want them to see anything but that. And then when I go to upsell them on something else, then I'm going to show them something else. You always want to focus. It's like tagging, right? When I talk about tagging on this lead generation stuff, you always want to be, and it's funny too, because Harold just did that video on being present, right? Being where you're at. There's some people in the world that can be in 10 places at one time. It's not a whole bunch of people that can do that, but there are some that can do that. Women, for one, are particularly, I don't like to use the word multitask because, you know, in science world, that don't exist. But when people say multitask, I know what they mean. They're doing it more than one thing at one time. Women kind of can juggle that pretty good because I guess it's just because they have kids and this and that. They got all these things going on. So because women have all these things going on, they're so used to being able to tend to the baby, tend to the house, talk to someone on the phone, do all these things at one time. I guess y'all do it so long, y'all just good at it, whatever the case may be. Men aren't good at multitasking. You got to be where you at. So when you're tagging somebody, when you're doing lead prospecting, you're tagging the person so that you're only focusing a certain amount of information on that person at a time, not showing them everything. It's the same thing here. The stakes at a glance I give to an insurance agent because I want the insurance agent to know their possibilities on what they can sell to their customers. So when they're looking at it, they're saying, okay, I can offer these different things. And now they're thinking about their client base and saying, okay, I got people I can offer this to, this, which widens the opportunity for that sales agent to sell. When I'm talking to an individual person, I don't use the stakes at a glance because I don't want them to look at that to figure out what it is I can sell them. I want to know that business so I can tell them how each plan is going to help them. So if that guy is an owner operator or he drives, whatever it is he does, that Jasmine is saying that he does that. If I'm going to ask him if he owns a weapon, he's traveling out of state, he owns a weapon, he's going to need the gun owner membership too. But I'm going to explain to him why. The same way I'm going to explain to him why he needs the identity theft, because I'm going to sell him on the product. So as a business owner, I'm asking questions now on the business side of that deal. I'm saying, so you operating your business from home? Yeah. You got any employees? No, I just got some couple of people I contract here and there, whatever the case may be, right? And I'm saying, so what's happening when you run into legal situations or need contracts reviewed for the things that you move in? Like, do you have any issues? But I'm asking them those questions so I can figure out where the plan is going to land in that. So if this guy is doing contracts with people, if he's moving them from one state to the next, appliances or whatever,
yeah.
First of all, he got to have some kind of contract. If he don't, he crazy. You moving somebody's stuff and ain't nobody signing nothing. Mm-hmm. So what's going to happen if that stuff fall off the truck? What's going to happen if he get into an accident and somebody's stuff in there? Somebody's signing something somewhere. Yeah. You see what I mean? Yeah. So if he's doing that kind of business, it's like, who's reviewing your contracts? Are you making sure that you got the right things in place? You know, I'm asking him these questions based on his business. I don't know what to say because I don't know what he does.
Right.
So
Okay.
I'm just trying to say anything. But if I was talking to him and I would drill down and find out exactly what he did and then apply that business plan.
Yeah.
Like, you need to protect your business. You need to protect your ability to move this stuff around on the commercial side. And if he says, I don't have a CDL license, you're still driving commercially because you're using your vehicle to create income. And he has commercial insurance. So if he's got commercial insurance, and if he don't, that's illegal. So he gonna end up needing an attorney, right? So at the end of the day, if he's moving across state with stuff, he probably has a CDL, and you know he's doing whatever he's doing. You need to sell him a CDL plan, a small business plan, and I wouldn't sell him the home-based business plan. I don't care whether they got a home-based business or not. Who's not home-based anymore?
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like that home-based business, to me, a few years ago, Home-based business was particular businesses. I'm doing taxes from home. I'm doing, I got my online business. I mean, my e-commerce business running from home. Now everybody got a home office. So the home business supplement, I'm not saying don't sell it. All I'm saying is I sell the $99 small business plan when I'm selling the business plan. That's what I talk about.
Yeah, I have the small business. I have the business plans, the 3 plans. So, I just, just want to run it by someone and say, but I have to talk to him some more.
Yeah, I think you need to identify with your customer a little bit more. And this is good because sometimes you have to see the need for something before you start to use it, right? So the whole purpose of when you send a lead magnet out to have the questions behind the lead magnet is so that you're shortening the learning curve on who you're talking to. Because if somebody's a prospect, I'm a prospect because I own the business. Well, yes, you're a prospect because you own the business, but I can't prospect you if I don't know more than that. I need to know more than just that you own the business to actually prospect you. So the reason why we have questions is because once they answer those questions on a lead magnet, now you know who you're talking to, what kind of business, whether they have whatever questions you want to put behind it. That's totally up to the person putting the lead magnet out there. But you want to know answers because that is how you sell. So when I'm doing email campaigns, the reason why I can do email campaigns is because I know a little bit enough about the person to know what to send them. Because I can't do an email campaign to you if I don't know what it is you want or what you're looking for. So that person is driving cross state lines, moving things for people. He needs the $99 small business plan because he can't even get any trial defense with the home-based business plan unless they change it. Now, no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that home-based business supplement, all that's going to do is review documents, review some contracts. Now, I know it does something on I know it does the tax thing on the tax side. So if he needs that as well, then he needs to have both. But selling him the plan, not selling him the $99 plan, I think that you will be doing him a disservice. And on the CDL, I would particularly ask him that question. Yeah. What kind of license do you have that allows you to drive to move people across state lines? I mean, if you move people within state lines, you still need a license because interstate or interstate don't have nothing to do with the CDL. You see what I mean? That has to do with your DOT number, not your CDL. So he would need a CDL whether he was driving across state lines or not, if he's moving people with a vehicle, and ask him what kind of vehicle he has.
Yeah.
Ask him, does he have a dually? Does he have a box truck? Does he have a 53-inch? Like, find out from him what kind of vehicle he has.
Yeah.
Because that will help you determine, like, you see what I mean? Like, he's not driving a box truck, moving people's stuff and don't have a CDL. I mean, he could, but again, he's breaking the law if he doesn't have that. So that's where that's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where that's at. He definitely has to prospect by asking questions.
Yeah.
You definitely have to prospect by asking questions, because if you don't have the right answers, and I would just implore you, like, and this is anybody on here, like, don't sell anybody anything because they fall under the category of needing that product without selling them the product. And I hope that makes sense. You have to sell people stuff. I don't need Air Jordans because I have feet. You see what I mean? I need shoes because I have feet. I don't need Air Jordans. So if you're telling me I need to buy these $160 pair of tickets or whatever Jordans cost, I don't know what they cost because I don't buy them. But whatever they cost, they're expensive, and I don't need those. Now you can sell me on getting them, but you're not gonna sell me on getting them by telling me I have feet. You see what I mean? Because that's not enough. Because there's something else I can put on my feet.
Yeah.
So when you say a person owns a business, and it's like, okay, I own a business. Oh, so you need a business plan? No, I don't. And why do you think I need one? Because I own a business. My brother could be an attorney. I could be an attorney for all that matter. You see what I mean? So you need to let that person know why they need to plan, not just be under the impression that they need it because they own a business and it's a business plan.
Yeah.
So definitely ask him some more questions.
Yeah.
Then apply his answers. Apply the plan you're marketing.
Yeah.
To the answers of his questions. That's how I would say that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Allison?
Yeah, I still have my hand up. I was just being clear what the literature that I was talking about is at a glance, the Business Council and Legal Shield, and on the back of it, it has the 3 businesses and the home and I wasn't saying give it to them. I was saying ask them questions based on this, so you can you know what I'm saying, eliminate what they don't have, they need, and what they do need. So I kind of use this as a guide sometimes. That's all.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense.
Okay, what is the name of that thing is?
That one is portfolio of services. It's at a glance. It's business. Yeah. And that's the one that has the it shows the coverage and the cost of each one of the plans. And then at the bottom, it has the home, business, trial defense, and business plus.
Okay.
So oh, go ahead. Somebody saying something?
Hey. With the guy, it's either he has CDL and they cancel his CDL and he just driving a vehicle without a CDL license. And she should ask him if his vehicle has a DOT number on it. And to really, and if you have the DOT number, you could look up and get a lot of information about it, because his story is not sounding right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he was driving while he was talking, and I told him it's not safe for him to be driving and talking. So when he,
if he has a DOT number, because he could be driving a CMV without a CDL license. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if it cancel and he just don't have it, and if the DOT stop him, he's going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Because he's doing all these things, and he must just cancel his license, his CDL.
Yeah.
Who knows for what? But you know, really, before you sell him, you don't want him to be a 911. You know, ask a lot. Have a conversation with him. Have a conversation like a week, 2 weeks with him. Keep conversation with him before you really sell it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a lot.
Make sure you're not going to be a trouble client. Make sure you're not going to be a trouble client. When I was prospecting trucking companies, I started slowing down on prospecting some of the Russian companies, because I found out, because I actually got some Russian friends that told me this. It wasn't even the truckers who told me this. It was some guys I knew because I asked them about it. A lot of Russian companies are operating strictly for, it's a money laundering thing. So they are driving, they're doing hazmat runs without no hazmat endorsement. They don't care. If the company gets shut down, they just open up another company with somebody else's name. And the point of me saying that to you is, you don't want that to be your customer, because you go in there and you sign up 20 drivers on this company, and then 3 months later, the company shuts down and they set up again with the new DOT number. Well, you lose all of that. You're gonna get chargebacks. So you got to know who your customer is. If the customer seems like they're a dangerous customer to have, if you look at a company and see that they keep getting hit for doing hazmat runs and they're not hazmat endorsed, you don't even want to prospect that company, because they're just not following the rule. That's like you going to the corner and selling a legal plan to a drug dealer. I mean, you're asking for a bad customer. You see what I mean? So you don't want to pull a company. So find out more about that guy, because if he's running state to state, moving stuff for people and don't got a CDL license, something wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yes, something wrong with that. So I mean, no matter what you sell him, that's gonna end up being a 911 situation that you're not gonna want to deal with. So I would just definitely be careful with that. Antonio, your hand up.
Are you talking to me? Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I seem to have lost the I guess the topic lead generation. I don't know if we moved off that, but we just having this conversation.
Oh no, we didn't. No, the topic of lead generation is still here. It's just somebody asked a question.
Okay, that's what I thought. So I'm gonna follow up kind of on that.
Yeah.
In regards to promoting small businesses, since COVID and since now we're getting out more, I know you pretty much focus on, doing sales and maybe more on the trucking industry, but just doing the small business plans and promoting this and going into trying to find out what that person's why is or that person's wants is. And listen to you just now, it's not so much that they have a business or they just open a business. Because when I go to new businesses that may have just opened, they still haven't felt that sting of having to have legal representation or having a lawyer on speed dial. That's not concerned to them because a lot of businesses right now, they're trying to stay open, period. And they see keeping their eyes on their business more important than seeing the things that are going on around them in regards to me coming up and saying you need to get a legal plan. So when you go out or when you have gone out, maybe cold calling or knocking on doors, what's the why that you target a small business owner, or do you have a conversation with them first to find out what their why is? I know as Edwards, he always preached starting a relationship, but sometimes that's challenging to do if you're just coming into a business and you're just getting through the gatekeeper and he looking at you like, why are you here, kind of thing. So give me an example of, if you can, how you would approach a person that you haven't had a conversation with and try to convince them, well, not convince them, but show them the benefit of legal plans, knowing what all is involved in a legal plan, not just a legal plan per se.
So give me an example like this. In this, it can be anything. It don't even have to be real life. Like, give me an example of a business, just any business, a type of business that you might think could use a business plan.
Say a car repair shop.
Okay, a car repair.
A lot of them, some of them been around for a good while.
Yeah.
And they may already have a relationship with the law firm. Their cousin may be an attorney, or they just haven't had any issues. They're good. I'm coming in and saying, what?
Okay, so I'm gonna make this relative to lead in marketing because it's sales and it's always a way to make it relative, right? So when I used to go out every day and prospect, I always prospect in niche because or you can say niche or you can say batch, right? You always do it in a batch. That way you're having the same conversation. You get sharper, you stay on top of your game.
Explain that, batch.
What I mean by batch is I keep everything together and I go in one area. The same way I send emails when it comes to leads, right? When I send an email out, the email is going to a particular set of people about a particular topic. I don't send an email to my entire email list because what that email says is only going to be for a specific amount of people. Does that make sense?
So you're talking about the industry. Like if I'm going to go to an automobile repair facility, I'm going to go to just automobile repair facilities in that area.
That's what I'm going to do. And I even did group that way, not even small business, group too. Because now you have a target and you know what you can do and what you can say. So if repair shop, let's say I'm doing repair shop this week, right? I'm going to have an email prepared to send out to repair shops. I'm going to walk in repair shops and I'm going to call repair shops. This is my plan. I am going to then Google repair shops and find out what kind of legal issues that they're having. What kind of legal issues are repair shops having right now? What am I seeing as the latest trend? When I realized that, so I did that in the daycare industry years ago. When I prospected daycares, I went online and I said, what kind of issues are daycares having? The issue that they was having at that time, which was years ago, was that people were keeping people's kids. The parents were running behind on payments. Tax season would come up and they would say, oh yeah, I'm gonna catch the payments up. And then when they tax money come, they pull their kid out and they go to another childcare place. They used to call it daycare jumping. They can't do it as much anymore because they got things in place. But at that time, they were doing that. So one of the issues that daycares were having were people will be on them for a month, 2 months, and then leave and go to another daycare. They couldn't get their money. So now they got their spouse or their cousin or their aunt or one of their grown kids sending some letters out to these people on their little teddy bear stationery, which ain't gonna scare nobody, about their money. So I went into daycare saying, hey, now you can have an attorney write those letters when this happens. And now it's coming from a law firm with stationery, that's serious stationery, and they're not going to take any percentage of your money when they collect it. That's what I did there. But let me go back to your repairs now, right? On your repair. I am going to pull a repair company, or not a repair company, but pull repair companies and say legal issues affecting repair companies in 2022. If I can't find anything relevant that our plan is going to do to help with their situations, I'm going to go to another industry. When I find an industry that's having a legal problem that our legal plan can really help with, I am going to now pull every repair company or whatever company it is. Let's say repair. I found something on repair companies. I'm going to pull every company I can in the area that's around me that I can walk into. I'm going to pull places to call, and I'm going to get emails for places. And I'm going to type up an email, one email that's going to say, hey, in 2022, right now I'm giving percentages, right? 40% of repair companies are going out of business because they're not getting any money from the client before they fix their car. And now they're getting into the business of having to try to keep somebody's car and sell it or figure out a way to take their car or hold their car because they can't be paid, right? If you have an attorney draw up a contract for you that will allow you to take 50% of the money up front and then have a letter going out, if they don't pay you, letting them know that if they don't give you your money by a certain amount of time, that the car is get turned over to you, whatever legal ramification needs to be done, an attorney can do those things for you. Get these things done, pay this money, have an attorney, blah, 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 whatever my spiel is. I'm just saying anything, obviously, but whatever my spiel is, I'm going to draw that up in email one time. Because I'm going to send that templated email to every car company that I'm prospecting. I'm going to call and I'm going to have a similar pitch when I call. Hey, this is Robert Dummer. I'm calling, and I'm going to use my company name, obviously. This is Robert Dummer. I'm calling for Oceanside Benefits. I'm giving you a call because I just put some information last week and I found out that over 40% of car service repair places are being shut down because they're not getting paid for the people's cars after they fix them. They put the man hours in, they paid their staff, they bought the part, they did the work, and now the person is not paying them, and they can't pay the rent at their car place with cars in their lot that people are not paying for because they got bills to pay. Are you seeing this issue in your place? They might hang up on me. They might say yes. They may say, oh man, yeah, that's kind of a common thing. There's not a whole bunch we can do about it. No, actually there is something you can do about it. If you can give me about 5 minutes and let me know a good time to give you a call back, I'll let you know a way that I've been helping repair companies for the last 2 weeks solve their issue. When can I get a time? Is it better for you morning, afternoon, Tuesday, Thursday, blah, 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 blah. That's my pitch over the phone. I've got an email that's going out with a similar pitch. And then if I walk in, I'm saying the same pitch. Now I'm going to hit that industry until I wear it out. And when I'm done wearing that industry out, I'm gonna go back to the drawing board. I'll go to Google and I'm gonna figure out another industry that's having legal problems. And then I'm gonna go hit them with the same thing. And I'm gonna wrap that business plan around that repair company based on whatever I see the legal issue is. That's going to be my hot point. Whatever I pulled was the major legal issue. That's target marketing, right? And that's the same thing you're doing with lead generation. When somebody clicks on something that you gave them, that lets you know that they're interested in that particular topic. And then you're supposed to have something to keep sending them just in that space. That's how you sell them. They clicked on something they was interested in. Every email should have that same interest. If it's not, they go unsubscribe from your emails. You're not going to sell them anything because now they're getting emails that's talking about stuff that they weren't interested in. That's why lead generation works, because I put something out there and you say, oh, I could use that. You click on it. Now I categorize you and I say, okay, these 30 people, I'm sending this email to these 30 people, and every week I'm going to send them another email around the same area with the same information, because that's what captured their attention until I close them. And that's what niche marketing is. That's what target marketing is. Does that make sense?
You tag them in the email. So after you tag them, are you still sending them leads? What's it called? Lead magnets, or are you sending them articles, or are you sending them?
I'm sending them. Well, all of that is lead magnets, so Antonio. So just so you know, like all of that is considered lead magnets, but I'm not going to send it lead magnet-ish once I got their email, because I don't need them to fill out a form anymore. I'm just going to send them the PDF. So I may send Antonio a PDF with a form attached so I can get your information through PayHip, right? Now I got your info. Well, guess what? When I send you another email, it's not going to have all that stuff attached to it. It's just going to be the PDF with the information. I got your email now. So I don't need to have you fill out stuff anymore. All I need to do now is deliver information to you that's going to get you to eventually buy from me, because I've educated you enough. That's what the 80-20 is.
Okay.
So I'm not lead magneting you no more, but you're still getting lead magnet information. But when you click on it, it's not going to ask you for anything, because the emails that are going out through my email database, there's no form attached to that stuff, because I already got your email. So some of the things that you guys get from me. So, right. So click the raise your hand button. And I know you got a question, so I'm going to answer in a second. Click the raise your hand button, or put a one or a one in the chat if you've gotten emails from me in the last 3 to 6 months where it was a link, and you can click on the link. And when you click on the link, it opens up some PDF or something. Put a one in the chat, right? So you've gotten that email from me, and you clicked on it, and it was a link that said, click on this, and it opened up. But it didn't ask you for no information. And the reason why I did is because I already got your information.
I got you.
But that same lead magnet that they opened up, I'm putting on social media and using it to collect information. But I'm giving it to them without any of that, because they have already given me their email. So now I'm just educating you until you buy whatever I'm selling. Does that make sense?
I got you. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it definitely makes sense when you're
Right.
when you focus on one industry and you get the verbiage down for that one industry, like home healthcare or like automobile mechanics, as opposed to just getting going to some kind of source, whether it be Reference USA or wherever. And what used to be said, look at businesses in a 10-mile radius or 5-mile radius and hit all those businesses, but in your way, it's more targeted, and you could get your pitch down because your business talking to the same person.
Hey.
And this is why this works. Because when I walk in, I used to train this when I used to go market to market. When you walk into a place, it's really easy to do your pitch when you've done it 5 or 10 times. It's easy.
We've done our time for chat with Winnie, no shit.
So if So when I go into a place, if I walk into a repair place and I run that pitch, I say it right. Now, if that person rejects me, rebuts, does anything, now I go back to my car and I say, man, when he said this, I should have said that. When she said this, I should have said that. I get that straight, right? I go to the next place. I know possibly what the rebuttal was going to be, because it's the same kind of business. So once I keep staying in that industry, I'm learning all of the pros and cons, which makes my pitch, I'm sharpening my pitch, because there's only going to be so many rebuttals in that industry. That's why you stick to one industry at a time. So you learn the industry, you learn the pitch. And then once I close 2 or 3, now I can name drop. Now I can walk in Jim Hicks' place and say, hey, Mr. Hicks, you know what? A couple of blocks down, I just actually helped Allison Ware with her repair service because she was having the same issue, man. And now she's going to have letters sent out from the law firm. When they collect that money, they're not going to take any of it. I can say, yeah, I helped her. And she actually turned me on to Stephanie Bob. And do you know who that is? She's not in this area, but she owns a car repair shop. And those 2 ladies know each other. So she turned me on to her, and then I sold her. Now I can name drop. And the person is going to be relative to that car repair company because I sold business plans to other car repair companies. So that's why I stay in one industry. And I did several industries. Like even now, I don't even prospect anymore. Like people that know me know I don't prospect no more. I still get phone calls from people who tell me that they went out to a place and a person gave them my business card and said, I came in there 2 years ago, 3 years ago. There's nowhere in Jacksonville I ain't been. Because I used to go out every day. I used to go out 5 days a week, and like we wasn't doing no go out for no hour. We got up and we went out at 10 o'clock in the morning. We was out there 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We went business to business to business. I mean, it was like we constantly went out. We did all kinds of luncheons and meet and greets and rented spaces in hotels and had promoted stuff for business owners to come in there. We fed them and had somebody do a presentation. We did everything under the sun. We was doing stuff way back when old boy in Atlanta, who was partnered with the old football guy, we was doing those luncheons way back then. Been legal shit for 13 years. So there's not a whole bunch of small business owners that ain't walked in their place. I don't care whether it's a furniture store, a bake shop, an assisted living facility. There's not too many places I haven't walked into because that's all I did every day.
What was your most successful one that you remember back in the day that you started out that you hit and was really productive for you?
Oh, to me, daycares, because I was able to turn daycares into groups. Because after I got the daycare owner, I would come back and feed the staff, and I would sell all those girls that was working in the daycares plans, and I would open up groups in them. That was the daycares were the easiest businesses to get into. Because women are different than men. And I can say this because I'm a guy, obviously. It's easier to sell a woman a business plan that owns a business than a guy because guys put up all. Now, if you're a girl selling it to them, it might be easier for you as a woman. Y'all would know that. But as a guy selling a business plan to another guy that owns a business, it's all this ego and all this bravado and all this nonsense you got to deal with. And when it's a woman, women are normally just about their business. So if I walk into a woman's business and I present to her that this is a beneficial plan, she's going to buy it because she sees value in it. And most daycare owners are women. So when I would walk into those places and I would present how the business plan was able to help, they would say, okay, they saw value in it. And then when I would say, hey, how many staff members you got? Oh, I got 7 girls. They work. I'll say, look, I will either do a lunch and learn, or I will come and say, can I sit in here all day? And as the shifts change, I just talk to the women one at a time. And I would sit in that daycare and I would buy food and I would have the food sitting out. And as different girls would come in, whenever they got a break, they would sit down with me and I would do an enrollment. But guess what? What better place to be than to be sitting inside of a daycare, knowing that I got prospects coming in when the shift change, versus me sitting somewhere else in Starbucks waiting for somebody to walk in so I can prospect. So that's what I would do. So I think my most success came from daycares.
That's good. I mean, I prospected them a couple of times, not as hard as strong. Again, I just almost like buckshot. I did everything that was on the block, But generally, those the people who work there are young, so they maybe don't have a family, and a lot of them that I experience, a lot of them don't see a need to have a legal plan because they're so young. And secondly, usually they already have a relationship with the lawyer. Again, I didn't do it like you did, where I look at what's their pain going in, so I'll be able to speak directly to that pain. Because evidently, if it's a pain there, if they have a relationship with the law firm, that relationship is not selling in that pain. So therefore, I do not know what that pain is going in. I'm just speaking generally. Again, you need a legal plan just generically, and they say, well, no, because I already got a relationship with the law firm. I think if I had went in with the specific pain and addressed that pain, I probably would have done a lot better.
Yeah, and that's any sale. Any sale you make, and you need to wrap the products, benefits, and services around the person's issue. If not, you just, like you said, you just shooting a buckshot.
Right.
And the problem with shooting a buckshot is the pros in shooting a buckshot is you got a wider spread. The con is it ain't gonna kill nothing too much, especially if you got any kind of distance, because them buckshots, they gonna hurt. But you know what I mean? If you're trying to kill somebody, you probably either gonna need to be up close with that, or you're gonna have to use buckshots. So you're trying to close the deal. And when you're shooting with a buckshot, you're gonna kind of affect that a little bit. So you're going in that way. Now, when you're saying the young girls working in the daycare, that sell is not as hard as you think it is, because people are very persuasive. So if the daycare owner says, this guy's coming in to talk to you guys about a plan,
Sure, okay.
I might want to pick this plan up. I have to protect the business, but y'all needed to protect y'all because my plan don't protect y'all.
Sure.
The fact that their boss is telling them that,
Sure, yeah.
it's a completely different scenario than you sitting down, because I'm never going to sit down and sell a 20-year-old, girl fresh out of high school, or freshman, sophomore in college. She don't have no kids yet. She just got a boyfriend, no husband. That's a hard sell.
Sure.
But it's not when they work in the daycare, because they're being told by their boss that they need that, and they listen to their boss. So, and a lot of times those girls will still be married. So it's like, they covering one kid, significant other, two, it's three of them. They thinking, not a big deal. And at that time, when I was doing daycares and all that stuff, guys, that was a long time ago. That's when the plan was $15.95 on the group side. When you talk about spending $16, you know what I mean? Even if you're in your 20s, $16 a month, and you're getting all of these benefits with the plan and all that kind of stuff, right. It wasn't a hard sale. Not that it's a hard sale now, because the plan has the value, but obviously selling a plan for $24.95 is going to be more difficult than $15.95. So you're talking about a $10 difference. So it does matter. It does matter in that sense. I had the most success there, but my biggest group stuff was always errands. Furniture store. Aaron's Furniture Store is one of my groups. They got 2,700 locations there in Canada too. So that's my biggest group is errands. And it was the same kind of setup. The store manager allowed me to do that location. And then I would just come in on Friday mornings, every Friday and Monday, depending on what store it is. Some stores are Fridays. I think the corporate stores were Fridays and the franchise stores were Mondays. So every Friday and Monday for about 4 years, and I probably got over 40 splits within the United States and Canada with people that were going in errands every Friday and Monday, servicing those errands on a split with me because there's so many stores. So I had my most success with errands, which is Aaron's Furniture Store. But when it came to what you're saying is like niching and going to a bunch of individual businesses, but within one particular industry, I think I had the most success with daycare. So sorry about that, Alan, for taking so long to answer your question.
One more question. Do you look at the number of years that business has been in business, or does that not matter?
I don't. It does matter. It does matter because there's a sweet spot. Like if the person's been in business too long, they either have an attorney already or think they don't need one. And if they're too new, then they don't understand yet that they need one. So you got to find a business owner that's been in business long enough to not have retained a permanent lawyer, but know that it's important to have one. So, you got to figure about it. I never did look and see how long business owners were in business when I did that, because we didn't have all those options either. Back when I was selling a small business plan like heavy, which was a few years ago, like when I did the small business training at the corporate event in, I don't even know where I was at this point. It was Tennessee or wherever, somewhere. I can't even remember at this point. But at that time was when I was selling a lot of small business plans. We only had the 75 and 125. That's all we had. We didn't have all those different options and all this other stuff. So it was an easy sale, knockdown 1-2. And that had to do with the amount of employees they had. So that was really all that was important.
Okay, good deal. Thank you.
So we're going to get Allison and then we're going to get Fernando.
I was just going to help with the answer that Antonio was asking about the lead magnets and everything, and just to share that that you were sending me stuff for almost 2 years before I really came in. You was educating me, and you know, it was mostly educational stuff, but you was also sending me stuff for when you would have your mini courses and stuff like that. And so, I mean, I just want to tell you thank you, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. I got a client that I just did a contract with a guy to coach that I have been sending stuff since 2013. And it's 2022, it's 9 years. And now he's about to buy something. 9 years. But who's counting, right? Because it's not about counting that one customer. It's about saying if you consistently lead generate, it's always gonna be somebody's turn. It's just now his turn, but it's always gonna be somebody's turn if you're consistently doing it. So it's just about consistently doing it, because eventually you will start making sales because of the information, especially when you're educating people and not asking them for nothing. Because even when I'm selling, I'm not like asking people to buy it from me. I'm just saying, I offer this. If you would like to buy it, buy it. If you want to just take my free stuff like you've been doing, then take that. I'm not like, hey, you've been taking my free stuff, it's time to buy something. I'm not forcing nobody. I'm just putting it out there, and eventually people buy, but enough people buy to where your business runs if you're putting enough stuff out there. So that's pretty much how that works. So thanks for that, Allison. Fernando.
Hi, how you doing, Robert?
I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, wanted to have an extension from what there was the topic about who is the right industry or business in the room because of new businesses, and I think you really said it all. But I just wanted to double check. So what I'm doing is I'm going out on the local newspapers every day or during the week. I get the section that says doing business as a new business owner. They have the address, maybe the name. So in terms of that, what would be the ideal client or potential client from industry or business type of business that I could zone in that is an obvious slam dunk that they need a legal shield basically. That's my question.
I can't say that there's an industry that's a slam dunk. For two reasons. One, I just don't have a way of knowing. Two, I don't prospect as much anymore, so I don't know what the hot market is right now. What I will tell you is this. And there's a lot of people that's doing what you're doing. They're pulling the doing business ads. The challenge for me with that is a business that new. If it's a new business, they're not going. They up to their wazoo in expenses. They just got their company formed, right? They getting 1,000 things in the mail saying buy this, buy that, buy this, baby. Some of it scam, some of it real, right? They got whatever business expenses they have in the beginning. Those people aren't even thinking. They're thinking, I don't need no attorney because I don't got no business yet. Like I don't have no customers yet, so they're not looking at getting no attorney. You see what I mean? It's like when I used to prospect. When I started going to trucking schools. I sold family plans there. I went to go sell CDL, but then I learned in the industry that you can only sell family plans there because I learned by experience. I went there, that was a bright idea. Oh man, what am I, stupid or something? Why don't I just go to CDL schools and the guy's coming out with a CDL and selling a CDL plan? I gotta be the smartest guy around. Well, when I went there, I realized what? They just got their CDL, they ain't getting no lawyer. They like, I don't even got a job yet. I don't even drive yet. What I need a CDL for? They don't think they're gonna get in trouble. They just learned how to drive, and they're thinking they just been scared in driving school. So as far as they're concerned, they're not even comfortable enough yet to be doing anything wrong behind the wheel. They're not thinking that they're gonna need a lawyer for nothing when it comes to their CDL yet, until they've been driving for a couple of years and they realize that they get targeted. They realize that they get tickets for things that's not their fault. See, they don't know all that they get, so they still new. So these new businesses aren't a good target. That's just my opinion. The only way to find out who the hot target is, You've got to go online and find out what industry is having legal problems. Once you find out what industry is having legal problems, then target that industry, as long as it's a legal problem that our product is going to stand up and be able to defend against. So in the CDL space, it was a little portion of time, maybe a year, and people were really going out heavily and selling CDL plan to trucking companies, which wasn't a good idea because they were selling it wrong. And they were saying it was going to do stuff that it didn't do. So the problem with that scenario is you can't go out there and say, oh yeah, you know, get this plan. If you have any issues, you pick up the phone and call the attorney. Well, guess what they found out when they did that? The law firms didn't understand commercial drive. They didn't understand commercial, the laws for commercial drivers. They didn't understand none of that stuff. The CDL law firm does, but that wasn't who was answering the phone for their business plan. So what they found out, people found out real quick is, don't go selling that business plan to a trucking company and tell them that they can call about trucking issues, because the law firm in their state that's handling that business, they understand business law, but they don't understand CDL commercial stuff. So they was canceling the plans. So you got to understand, you gotta be solving a problem that we solve. So what parts of our what parts of our small business plan really stand out? Right? The trial defense, the being able to review contracts and documents, being able to ask questions. What industries need to be talking to an attorney all the time and make sure that things are good? That's who you need to be marketing to, because they can use that and it's never going to cost them nothing. How can a person get the most value out of that small business plan? What parts of that plan are the most valuable? Okay, what industry needs that? That's what industry I would go into if I was doing that today. Because you can only market what people will buy. Well, you can only market what's marketable, right? So you can't go out and market a part of our plan that's not going to work as well. Because everybody on here that I'm looking at, I don't know how long Betty's been around, but I know pretty much the rest of you guys, I know how long y'all been around. Betty, you may have been in longer than me. I don't know. I just don't personally know how long you've been in Legal Shield. So most of the people that's been in Legal Shield that's on this call, you guys know there's some parts of our plan that do not work that way. So stay away from marketing the plan based on things that the plan doesn't do that well. Because all you're gonna have is an upset customer. So selling on things that it does well. So that means find industries that have issues that the small business plan will serve well, right? If it's an industry that they're gonna get sued, they got a high chance of getting sued, then yes, the $99 plan with the trial defense. And I know that works because I used it when I owned my tax offices years ago, probably 10 years ago. I used it. The people I were franchising from sued me. And I used the small business plan, trial defense, and I didn't pay nothing and I won. So I know that it works. So you can sell it based on what you know works, and then find an industry based on what you know works, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys, it's 9:13. 9:13. I saw Stephanie, what you posted in there that, yeah, I heard something about that Jeff Bell was supposed to be retiring. Yeah. I did hear that. So I guess that's what that 8 o'clock call was about there.
Wow.
Yeah, about him retiring. Yeah, somebody had mentioned that to me, that he was I guess they was waiting after he was going to retire after 50. He wanted to be around for the 50th before he left.
Oh,
Yeah. So I guess after he had made a decision, he was going to announce it. He didn't want to announce it before the conference because obviously, he wanted the conference to be exciting. He didn't want people to think that, people be saying, oh, Jeff Bell's leaving or whatever, but everybody got to retire. So, that's the deal. So yeah, guys. So hopefully we went off topic a little bit, but I'm a person that believes in
divine order.
It was good training.
I believe in talking about what people what people need to hear, not what's on the agenda.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank
what
you.
People need to hear, not what's on the agenda. So
Yeah,
if people needed to hear that, that's what you needed to hear. So
that's
there
good.
it is. Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you, Robert.
Absolutely. So next Tuesday be here again for those that's gonna be on the business summit. That's gonna start on Thursday at 7 p.m. Thursday at 7 p.m. So that's Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern, I'm sorry. So and then tomorrow we still have another pre-game coaching session tomorrow. So we have a pre-game coaching session tomorrow. That's free for anybody that wants to be on that. That starts at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time for the pre-game coaching session. And then the actual business conference is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So for those that's participating in that, see you guys there. Everybody else, you guys have a fantastic evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you. Have a good evening,
Thank
everybody.
Thank you.
You too.
Bye.
Yep, you do the same.
Thanks.
Yes.